time, and you guys can get out of here on time as well. Can you just put it down just a little bit because it's feedback for me, please? Thank you. So the reason we're using the microphone is because we're going to record this session, and we're recording it so we can put it online for anybody who wasn't able to attend today. Welcome, you guys can come on in. No worries. If you can just sign in for me, that would be great. We just need a name and email address and phone number if you can. So again, we're here today to talk about the City of Cocoa's UpStart Cocoa Small Business Development Program. And we're recording the session just so we can put it online for anybody that wasn't able to attend our sessions today. So if you ask a question, I am going to ask you to just ask it in the microphone for me. That way we can get it on the recording as well, because we didn't do that earlier today. So, okay, so I'm going to start with introducing myself and Connor here. We do have someone else who will be helping us present as well, Catherine Rudolph from WeVenture. She's running just a few minutes late, so we'll introduce her when she gets here. My name is Samantha Sanger, and I am the Director of Communications and Economic Development for the City of Cocoa. And I'm going to let Connor introduce himself.
Sure. I'm Connor Williams. I'm the grants writer and economic development specialist for the city.
Okay, so we are here today to talk about the UpStart program, what it entails, and answer any questions that you guys might have about the program. So feel free to ask any questions during the session, but again, I am going to ask that you ask it on the microphone so we can get it on recording, just in case anybody else has may have that same question too. So we are going to start with the UpStart Cocoa information. So what is UpStart Cocoa? UpStart Cocoa is a small business forgivable loan program. And I feel like I keep cutting out, but that's okay. I'll keep trying. Small business forgivable loan program, which promotes growth of women and minority-owned small businesses throughout the city of Cocoa. So this is for businesses that are starting in the city of Cocoa. And when I say starting, it's 2 years or less, or any businesses that are looking to relocate into the city of Cocoa from somewhere else. The program is designed as a 3-year forgivable loan program that awards up to $10,000 to a new startup business or a business looking to expand into the city. The program includes a collaboration with WeVenture, which is what we discussed. Welcome back. You guys, if you can just sign in again. I know you were here earlier, but if you can sign in for me, please. And if you, just sign in for me. Thank you. So the program also has a collaboration with WeVenture, and that's what I'm going to have Catherine talk a little bit more about as well. This is really the key component of this program. It's not just the $10,000. It is the WeVenture portion is a business mentorship and education program. This gives our small businesses the opportunity to start off on the right foot with the proper business knowledge and mentorship that you would need to get started. And all of this information is online as well. So I know you can take pictures of the slides if you want, but all of that is available online as well on our website. So the 3-year forgivable loan is up to $10,000, and what that entails is $2,500 of that is going towards the WeVenture program that I just discussed. The remaining $7,500 will be reimbursable expenses. So it's expenses that you have as a business, and we'll go into a little bit more depth into what those expenses include. So the remaining amount gets reimbursed after successful completion of the WeVenture program, and then and approval of a revised business plan with reimbursable expenses. Hello. If you haven't signed in, if you can sign in for me, please, right up here. You can sign in and okay. So and the applicant must stay in business for 3 years, and then the loan will be forgiven after that. And we'll go into detail what all that means. So who's eligible for this program? Any minority-owned business means a small business which is organized to engage in commercial transactions, and it has to be 51% owned by a minority person. So persons of minority, I don't need to go into all of that, but that's what it is. It had all of that information is listed on our website as well. It can be a new business, 2 years or less. That's what we consider new business, or a business that is relocating to the city of Cocoa and has 10 employees or less. So this is truly a program designed for small businesses. All applicants must be willing to participate and complete the 24-week business education and mentorship program, the We Venture program, which I talked to you guys about as the key component to this program. And we'll go into more details about why that's the key component to the program. So what types of businesses are eligible? So eating and drinking establishments, where 51% of the business is derived from food and non-alcoholic beverages. So that can also include restaurants, mobile vending, refreshment stands, anything like that. But if it is a mobile vending model, it will need to commit to required hours, percentage of sales, and some other stuff in the city of Cocoa. For startup businesses, the minority entrepreneur is required to invest at least 10% of the startup costs to apply for the program. So you guys have to provide at least 10% of the startup costs. Who's not eligible? There's a number of businesses that are not eligible for this program. Social service providers, nonprofit agencies, gun shops, liquor stores, CBD shops. There's just a number. All of that's listed on our website as well. If you have received funding in the past for this program, you would not be eligible again until after the 3 years from the date of the submittal. And pretty much any type of funding, if you've received any funding assistance from the city except for facade grants, then you are not eligible to participate in the program. So what are the steps in the process? Go ahead. Nope, you can go ahead and ask questions. You want me to go up to the mic? Have you asked? Thank you for reminding me.
Does that include small business COVID relief funds from the city?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I need to verify, but I believe so. It's any type of funding assistance that you've received from the city. The only one that's the exception is the facade grants. But we can verify that and make sure. Okay, so here is your steps in your process. So you're going to start off with applying. Applications open tomorrow. You can go onto our website right now. You can see the application is on there. You can click on it. You can see all that's involved in the application. You just can't hit submit until tomorrow. February 1st through March 15th is when the applications will be open. And once you apply, we'll go through and review all of the applications to make sure everybody qualifies for the program. Once we have those, we'll set up question and answer sessions with our review committee. And then we will select participants to participate in the program. Then those participants that are selected, we have 5 loans available, 3 of which are dedicated solely to the Diamond Square community. And I'm gonna, after the presentation, I will show you a map of what is the Diamond Square community, okay? Just in case anybody has any questions. And then 2 of them are for the entire city of Cocoa. So 2 for Cocoa, 3 for the Diamond Square community. So you'll go through those people who are selected. We'll start the 24-week We Venture program, and I'll have Catherine, when she gets here, we'll talk a little bit more about that program. It is a customized program for each individual. You aren't doing this together as a group. It is a specific program designed especially for you and your business.
Are you sure I shouldn't wait until after? And this is a question from earlier, but since it's being recorded, if you're in a partnership, like a 50-50 partnership with someone, then would both of you need to go through that program?
Yes.
And since it's $2,500 for the program, then would it be $5,000?
So no, the cost is $2,500 per business, so per participant. If you guys are applying together, then it is one, that's considered one participant. So you guys would have one $2,500 fee, and that would be, you'd go through the program together. And so then you go through the 24-week We Venture program. Afterwards, you set up a plan with the We Venture folks, and you guys decide what you want to get funded through this loan, whether that's, and we'll talk about eligible expenses on here as well. That could be rent, it could be marketing expenses, it could be a bookkeeper, it could be, there's a number of different things that it could cover, right? And you're going to work with We Venture to decide what are those expenses that you would like to have this cover. And then you submit that for approval to council. Then you will sign a loan agreement. Once that is determined, you sign a loan agreement with the city of Cocoa. That will say, okay, we want to, and you submit your requests. Here's the funds that I want to be reimbursed for. Then once you submit those, we will reimburse you. And then there's certain criteria you have to keep up for 3 years. And then at the end of the 3 years, the loan is forgiven and you aren't required to pay back the loan, which would be the remaining $7,500. Okay? Did you have a question?
I did. Hi, everybody. My name is Shar. By the way, I'm a local business owner, and I also live in Cocoa Village. So I came to earlier, and I had a lot of questions, and I thought they may be helpful to ask in front of, looks like a somewhat new crowd. Two things. With the expenses, it gives a pretty detailed of what expenses would possibly be covered. So it seems to me with the application that it kind of lays out, what reimbursements that you should put on the application. One of my questions, well, I have two. Number one, is there a time frame of when you incurred those expenses that you would like reimbursed? Such as like if I created my LLC sometime last year, would those count and I can turn those in, or it has to be occurred as I start this program if I'm eligible?
Okay, so we'll start with that one. So we'll go over what is considered eligible expenses, but it's within a year from when you sign that loan agreement. So it can be, you could already have had the expenses occur. So if you already paid for your LLC with the state, you incurred a fee to establish it, that would be an eligible expense to submit for reimbursement. So you're going to work with the We Venture people to decide what you feel is the expenses you want to submit for reimbursement. Eligible expenses include rent or mortgage not to exceed 3 months, city fees such as utility deposits, permitting fees, business tax receipt fees, inventory expenses, marketing expenses, moving expenses, membership in the Chamber of Commerce. Hey, Catherine. Welcome. No, come on in. We haven't gotten to the We Venture slide yet, so it's perfect. A year membership in the Chamber of Commerce. It specifically spelled out, we talked about this earlier, it did spell out, because this program was created prior to the development of our Space Coast Black Chamber of Commerce, we put the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce, but we will also accept the Space Coast Black Chamber of Commerce as well. Other expenses as recommended by We Venture. So again, that's something that you will work out with your person at We Venture to determine what are the expenses you want to submit for reimbursement. Perfect timing. Sorry. So Catherine, if you can, I'm going to have you talk into the microphone if you can, and introduce yourself, and then talk a little bit about the We Venture program and how that works.
Sure. So my name is Catherine Rudloff, and I'm the Executive Director of We Venture Women's Business Center in the Florida Tech Bisque College of Business. We are an SBA program. So the U.S. Small Business, am I fading in and out, or is that okay? It just sounds like that. Okay. So we're funded in part by a grant from the U.S. Small Business Administration to provide business coaching, education, mentorship, and what we call technical assistance to small businesses in Brevard, Indian River, and St. Lucie County. All of you, as business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs, can already take advantage of the free services that WeVenture offers, which includes a lot of business coaching and business education. We do, however, offer a program called Ignite 360, where we offer businesses a little bit more in-depth support. This was created because often we see businesses, we like to say, either navigate change or prepare for growth, where more than just the occasional conversation with a business coach or more than just a webinar, on how to do QuickBooks might be needed. So with the Ignite program, it is a fee-for-service program. So we have clients that come, compared to other consulting firms or business coaches, we're still very affordable. It's anywhere from $1,500, $2,500, or $3,500, depending on the length of service. The partnership that we have with the city of Cocoa in this program is that those businesses selected for the UpStart Cocoa program will participate in that Ignite 360 program and receive 6 months of business mentorship and coaching. It is not just one business coach, but we actually put together a team of mentors that will work with you. And the goal of this is to ensure that you, as a business owner, not only do we provide you with, whatever support and training that you might need to get your business either going or to see where you're at to where you grow, but it's a real investment from the perspective of the city, because our outcomes show of the, hundreds of clients that we've worked with, all are still in business. Most go on to see an average increase of 40% in their revenues after graduating. So this really is a program that we're quite proud of. It is our cornerstone program. And our goal is to help businesses stay in business and find sustainable growth. So when the city is talking about giving a grant or some investment to local business, they want to make sure your business is here for a few years, right? So it's a really good partnership, because that's exactly what this program is designed to do, is help you find sustainable business success, right? So when we say 6 months, you will have a few introductory, what we would call maybe a vetting meeting or two with just our WeVenture staff, so they can really get to understand you, your business, what your challenges are, what your opportunities are. And then she would work to put together a team of mentors. You would get to know them. We make sure there's no conflicts of interest, or anything involved. They might be bankers, they might be accountants, they might be lawyers, they might be experienced business professionals. We really, once we get an idea of what you need, what kind of support you need, we put together a custom team just for you. And then you would have set meetings once a month that last about 2 hours. And they're pretty detailed. You will be assigned things like homework, that we would expect to get done. It's full transparency. They're going to ask to look at your financials. We're going to talk about your expenses. We're going to do deep dives into really the meat of the business. And so we ask that business owners, that's part of the vetting process, to make sure you're open to what we might call coachable, that you're ready to receive some in-depth support looking at all aspects of your business. And then in those meetings and in the homework, you spend the first half talking about what were the things that we needed to work on from last time that were assigned. And then we spend the second half of the meeting talking about, okay, and what do we need to do next and what's going to happen? And in between those meetings, your mentors, you will find they will become your advisors. And so it's not just during the Ignite meeting once a month that you'll meet with them, but if you needed help from the accountant, I'm sure that, they say, yeah, give me a call next Tuesday. We'll go over it. We'll try to work it out for you. So they are there supporting you, not just in those meetings, but throughout the journey. And then our goal, as Stephanie had indicated, that we hope we will present a solid plan, that this is a business that we feel is on solid footing. We've got a plan for growth. This is how the funding could benefit your business and how you could leverage it. And that way we can go to the city and say, we have great confidence that this business owner is ready. This is a wise investment of the funds. This is going to help return to their business, for X, Y, and Z reasons, and that we recommend, they move forward with the grant program. And then again, our services in terms of the business coaching and our biz ed are all available to all of you already. And even after you graduate the Ignite program, you're welcome to take advantage of all those other programs that WeVenture offers on an ongoing basis. But it is that 6 month of really solid support that you're getting as a part of this UpStart COCO program.
And when I say that was a key component, because when we discussed the opportunity, it was actually one of our council members that came to us and said, hey, what do we do for small businesses? And other than really, providing them, information about WeVenture or providing them information about SBA, that's really all we had. So our previous economic development director looked into a program, went to other cities, looked at what they offered, and found a program. I believe that Orlando offered a similar type of program. But the key component to it is that business education and mentorship piece, because without that, what does it matter if you're given $10,000 or $7,500 or whatever it is? Without making sure that we give you the tools to succeed, that may not even be anything. So we want to make sure that you are going to succeed in the long run and become a bona fide business in the city of Cocoa that's going to be here forever. So that's what we want. And so it's an investment in you as a business owner to be a successful business. And that's what our partnership with WeVenture is. Does anybody have any questions about the WeVenture piece? Yes.
Thank you. So here's what I'm wondering about. This is a very exciting program, and I'm familiar with WeVenture, and I admire the work that you do. And my thought is that in pursuing this whole process, that probably, only a minority of businesses will be selected for the program. Will you be providing feedback on the submissions of those who are not selected as to, maybe where their proposal was weak, or what your thoughts are on the viability of if it's a startup or something like that? Just curious.
Yeah, so I can't recall from the last go round how many applicants, but there were, folks who applied that weren't given. And I won't speak for the city of Cocoa in terms of feedback there, but I know our business coach did offer to reach out to all of them and say, I'm still happy to meet with you, because again, our free business coaching, again, it's not as involved as the Ignite 360 program. It's one-on-one with the business coach, but as long as you're working through whatever objectives our business coach, you're able to come and meet with her. So you just applying, we hope you all become WeVenture client. We're here to support you on your business journey wherever it's at. A few lucky people, will get this, what I would call a scholarship, really, to go through our program and have that investment in the long-term success of your business.
So, and that's really great feedback, because this is only the second year that we're doing it. So we are, and I'm kind of new to this process too. So we're going to be kind of, I feel like we're starting over almost in how we are accepting applications and how we are judging applications and choosing applications, right? So our committee that we'll be selecting, they're going to hold question and answer sessions with each of the applicants that are vetted. They have to make sure that they qualify for the program, they've submitted everything that they need, and then they'll go on to the committee. And then the committee will hold question and answer sessions with each of those. After that, they will meet together as a committee. They do take notes. Everything that we do is public record, but I will give that feedback to them that some of these businesses may like to know why they weren't selected. So maybe that's good information that they can provide in their notes as well.
And I can assure you, just from, our phone rings, we get about 10 new client inquiries a week on average of folks looking for help. I would bet 8 of the 10 are saying, how can I get access to funding? So you're not alone. You know, there's a lot of businesses that are in this. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity that the city of Cocoa is providing. I wish, you know, there were city and federal funds that we could do this all over and replicate it. But it's a really great local opportunity. And whether you're approved for this funding or not, our support is still here for you. And you really, we hope you'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, because she mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
That, in the earlier meeting, that there are still programs.
Yes.
If you're not selected, that, you know, there's still other opportunities to learn and be able.
Yes. So she mentioned about earlier in the earlier session, there's an upcoming QuickBooks session that they're doing. All of that stuff is free on their website, so you can go onto their website and you can attend any of those classes.
Yep.
So we also have a link on our website to the WeVenture website, which I can kind of go through and show you all as well. Yes.
So I'm curious if the city has like a vision or like specific business types that they're trying to get approved, like their Q&A session. I wonder if it's subjective based on what they're wanting to bring into the city.
That's a good question. I don't know if there's necessarily a vision of what they want to bring, but I can tell you that the eligibility requirements were based on what they would like. They want new, I guess, new services. So anything that's kind of bringing new things to the city, I think would get priority. But things like, this is why they put non-eligible businesses as like social services and nonprofits, because we have a plethora of social services and nonprofits in our community, right? So they want to see new businesses come in. So I would say that you're probably going to have a leg up if you have a new idea. Coachability was one thing that Catherine mentioned. If you see, that's what they're really looking for. Are you willing to go through this program, be coached, you know, and learn from them? Because we did last time, we've gone through this once. We had 2 people that applied or 2 people that were awarded. One went through the program. One, I think, went halfway through the program and did not finish. Or didn't submit for reimbursement.
Didn't submit for it. So she went through the Ignite program, and then the business model kind of changed. The idea of, okay, do I need to be in the city? You know, there were some things that started to, as we were diving into her business plan, that it was like, maybe I'm not a fit for this grant and some of the requirements then of the grant.
And you're not required at that point to pay back for the $2,500 that you went through the program. We want to invest in you. That's how much we believe in the program. And what we believe in WeVenture is that we are willing to, you don't sign anything. You say, okay, yes, I accept this. I want to do it. You join WeVenture, but you do not have to, like this person, they're not required to pay back the city for that $2,500. If you sign that loan agreement and you don't follow through with the 3-year program with the city, you're required to pay back the portions of the loan.
So then that raises a question for me, is that, well, I guess one, is it possible for that initial vetting to have something to, I guess, feedback to know if a proposed business plan or an opportunity would work for the company? Because, like, for example, if I applied and then, you know, I wasn't selected and someone else was, but they didn't go through and get the grant, is there another opportunity where you would maybe mention, come back out, or maybe reconsider previous applicants?
We do, the way it is written, I believe we do have that ability to open it back up, because it's funds that are budgeted through the year. So if we still have funds budgeted, we could use those funds to the program next year and do an additional one or whatever it is. So we have that set funds budgeted, whether it's used or not. If it's not used, it could be used on somebody else. So yes, that is a possibility.
And I think that being our first time last year, that was just a lesson learned.
Yeah, and it's a lot of learning and growing and understanding what happens and moving on to the next one. Okay, so there is a community enrichment component to this program. So we do ask that all applicants who are awarded the forgivable loan give back to our community. And what that looks like, it could be donation of volunteer hours, goods or services, any type of donation. They have to be made to a public entity, 501c3 organization that provides services to the COCO community. For example, I will give you the example of our recipient last year, Chef's Kitchen. He had proposed that he will be doing cooking classes with students at one of our schools. Cooking is what he knows. That's what he got the loan for. It was an easy fit for him. It's his way of being able to fulfill his community service component. They also give back to the school as well, so they fulfill it in a number of ways, but I thought that was a very interesting way of taking what he does as a business and applying it to the community service component. So
that wasn't already, he created that opportunity for those?
Yep, so he said this is how, he gives us a list of what he's gonna do as his community enrichment component, and that's one of the things that we do as an annual checkup with everybody, is we'll go through and say, okay, submit what you did for your community enrichment component. There's other things as well, and as long as you are fulfilling the requirements of the loan, we keep going each year for the 3 years, and then it's done.
Does that also include if you have, if you're small business owner for profit, but you may also own a nonprofit, could you donate it back to that as long as it obviously is community service based?
Yes, as long as the organization is supporting the COCO community and it fulfills one of that, yes, you can. It can be your own nonprofit. Okay. So, as I stated, on our website right now, you can view our application. It is up there. We'll switch it to be able to apply. You most likely it'll be tonight, but you'll see it. It's technically tomorrow, but you will be required to provide the following information on this application. So we'll need your business name and location, business information. We want to know the nature of the business, what motivated you to start the business, what challenges and opportunities you see, what your commitment is. You will have to agree to commit to the We Venture program, your business plan. Now, and this can just be, it does not need to be we're not judging you on your business plan, okay? This program is designed to make your business plan better. We are just here, we want some sort of business plan submitted with that. Hold on one second, and then a budget, any mortgage documents and business references. The one thing that we don't have on our online application are financial documents. That may be required later on, but we cannot ask for that online, so we can't ask for that documentation. So that could be something that is required later. Go ahead.
In regards to the business plan, can we use the same business plan that we used when we got our LLC and our EIN? And also with the lease and mortgage information, if we don't have that location yet, how do we get around that part?
So I do, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that it is a requirement to put your mortgage information in. I think it's, if you have it, you can put it in there. It does ask for a location, but if like it's right now it's your home and you're intending to go into a location, you can even put that. I think there's spaces for all of that stuff. And I forget, what was the other question?
We use the same business plan we use for the LLC.
Yes, you can use the same business plan that you used when you established your LLC. Again, I would say it as you want to pitch this, you're pitching this to the committee. So you want them to select your business for this loan program, and they're going to look at things like, coachability, what your business plan looks like. Is it something that's new to the city of COCO? Is it something that we think is going to last long term in the city of COCO? Those are things that they're going to look at. But business plan is not something that we're going to judge you on, because we want you to refine it and make it better with the WeVenture program.
When you said some financial information may be required later on, can you give examples? Like, is that like credit scores or?
It could be banking information, that stuff that could be required later on, but it's not something that we're requiring for application at this point.
And it is business focused. Like, I don't believe
Yeah.
that your personal,
Not personal
credit
stuff.
is not what we're
Yeah.
after. But if you've already had some sales, your sales records, your profit and loss statements, any monthly revenue, income, expenses, those are the type of business financials.
And we can't take that information online. So that's just, we can't, everything is public record. So we don't want to make sure that none of that stuff gets out publicly.
Yeah, that sort of financial information we would request after, once the application period is closed, we will then come and request it as we see fit.
And then it would not be public record because it's not part of the application, just to be clear. So that's just, for so the committee can assess the strength, health of the business.
Okay, so questions. And then I'll show you maps of locations.
I feel like I'm hogging the mic, but I went through and did a lot of homework, me and my friends here. So we have some questions ready. I noticed that a lot of the information was available on the website, from a template for the forgivable loan agreement to policies, procedures, and conditions, and things like that. And a couple questions I just wanted to get some clarification on. For example, under the forgivable loan approval procedure and program participation, it states that the UpStart COCO Review Committee will, am I going in and out, or is that just the microphone? Okay. The UpStart COCO Review Committee will make recommendations to the City Council regarding funding following the completion, approximately 24 weeks education. The amount of any forgivable loan shall be determined by the CRA City Council in its sole discretion based on the following general factors. And one of those factors includes external funding available to the applicant. Can you explain a little more what that means? Because I originally was wondering, are you asking, like, if I'm available for lots of other funding outside of this, could that possibly harm me in coming off as an eligible candidate for this funding as well?
I don't know if it's necessarily something that will harm you. They're looking to see, are you looking for additional funding elsewhere, or is this your sole source of funding? So they just want to see, what is your plan? Are you going to need additional funding? Again, is it a viable business that they think will last long-term in the city of Cocoa?
Or, for example, sometimes you might need a down payment, right? And if let's just say that $5,000, wow, okay, that can be a nice payment, but then will you be able to qualify for the rest of financing that might get you whatever it is, the full amount, that your business needs, so that this loan could be used as helping you get that great, important first step, but will you be able to qualify, and can we get your business plan there and your so that your business can qualify for the full funding, if you were trying to do a big build or get a mortgage or something. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'll come back to you with more questions. So we pulled up this map, and I found this after our meeting this morning, but this is a lot better. So come back out, there you go. So the gray area that you see that's outlined, that's the city limits of the city of Cocoa. The green portion is our Diamond Square community. So that goes from US 1 to Fisk Boulevard, from Peachtree down to Rosa Jones. So that's our Diamond Square community. The city of Cocoa is other gray area. So that does not include, we had questions this morning, it does not include Port St. John or Sharps. It has to be in the city limits of Cocoa. And on our UpStart page, excuse me, on our UpStart page, we have linked to the map of the city of Cocoa and to this redevelopment area page. You can type in your address and you can see exactly where you're located if you are in city limits. Okay, more questions?
Yes. You want me to just do one or get them all out so I can stop hogging the microphone? So confirming there's 2 for the city of Cocoa area, and then there's 3 for the Diamond area, right? And so last year was your first year, and I asked this earlier, so I'm just asking again because you're recording this. I was wondering about how many applications did you receive last year and how many possibly you anticipate this year, so, can weigh out, obviously, what my chances are here.
So we had, I believe and Connor thinks it was about 30.
The upper end of the 20s, like
Okay.
mid-high 20s. And last year, we only had one award for each group. So one award for Diamond Square, one award for the city. This year, we're expecting more applications because there are more awards up in the air. And I think we've done a lot more legwork in getting the word out this time around.
We also are doing, so to contrast that though, we have been putting a lot more information on our website than I think what was out there last year.
Yeah.
So I think we want people to better understand the process. What happened last year is a lot of this information wasn't available or wasn't easily readable. And so a lot of people applied, and then we were doing a lot of legwork of trying to get the correct information because it wasn't submitted correctly. So we're hoping this year with the information we're providing and having these informational sessions that we'll have good applications that are coming through with all of the required information.
I mean, I was always taught it doesn't hurt to ask, so. So with reading through also just all of the information that is very, by the way, easy accessible online on the City of Cocoa website, so thank you for that. So applications, the deadline is March 15th, and then from there, you estimate about how long will it be before you start vetting? The vetting will be all of the applicants, right? Before you decide?
So what we're planning to do is we are hoping we're going to be vetting throughout the process. So from February 1st to March 15th, we're going to be vetting. If there's stuff that's missing, we're going to reach out to you and say, sorry, most of the stuff is all required on our online document anyway, so you can't even submit without putting something in there. But if for some reason we get something that isn't what we need, we'll reach out and let you know and work with you so that it is submitted by the deadline. We're hoping that then once we have all of our applications after March 15th, we'll give our committee a couple of weeks to review all of those. And then we'll start setting up our question and answer sessions that we discussed as well.
And that will be with the 5 people that have been chosen, the 3 from...
No, that's going to be with anybody who has submitted an application. It's going to be an opportunity for our committee members to ask you questions that they might have about your application. And so they're going to, anything that might not be answered or might not be clear in your application, it's their opportunity before they make any decisions on who the finalists are going to be.
Quick question, your Diamond area and your City of Cocoa in blue, is the...
No, City Cocoa CRA, that's the Cocoa CRA.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's not, is that part of the Diamond area also, or is it not? Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to clarify, the Cocoa CRA is basically is like, for the purposes of this grant, is considered part of the gray area, as in the rest of the city limits. The only area that is considered for those three separate awards is the Diamond Square CRA, which is the green area.
Right. Now, where the diamond area is, do you have to live in that area, or is that what you plan on
That's where
doing
the
your
business
business in
needs
that
to be
area?
proposed.
So you can
to
live
be
in the
located.
gray and still have a business in the gray?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
So there's obviously a push to start putting businesses in the Diamond Square. It's quite a specific area. I want to know, how does the city plan to help support businesses that go into that area if they are awarded? Because it ain't there yet. You know what I mean?
So, we're hoping, this is kind of why we partner with WeVenture, to make sure that they're successful long term. So we want to make sure that it's going to be a business that will stay around and they have the education they need to be a successful business. And that's citywide. The reason that we have 3 in Diamond Square is because the Diamond Square board, it is a redevelopment area. And the purpose is to bring businesses in to redevelop the area. So they have determined they want to use the tax dollars that they get for that redevelopment area to reinvest in their businesses. And that's one of the programs, the UpStart program is one of the businesses they want to reinvest in. So that board specifically set aside a certain dollar amount and requested to have 3. So that's why there is an additional program in the Diamond Square area as opposed to the entire city.
In regards to the Diamond Square area, I've lived in Cocoa all my life. So in building the businesses, is the city of Cocoa also going to do any improvements in that area other than just bringing the business?
Diamond Square? Yeah. So they have so Diamond Square redevelopment area has a, you can read about redevelopment areas on our website as well. I can show you where that is. So redevelopment areas they have additional tax dollars to reinvest back in the community. So things like the Jolie Smith Community Center, the brand new community center that was built based on those tax dollars. So it's money that is reinvested back into the community. And without going into, because it's a very, very complicated subject, so there are, everybody pays taxes. You pay taxes based on the income that you make, the property taxes, right? So property taxes in the Diamond Square community are lower. So we don't collect a ton of property taxes from the Diamond Square community. So, but the reason that Diamond Square redevelopment area was established was to freeze, what it does is freeze taxes at the time that it was established. And then the taxes in between that and what is right now, that has to go back to that specific community. So everyone that lives in the city of Cocoa has to pay taxes, and some of our taxes go to the county. So taxes that we pay as residents could go to a road in Palm Bay because it goes to the county's general fund, right? But when you live in a redevelopment area, it assigns those tax dollars directly to that community. Then once those tax dollars are assigned, there's a board that is established that has to determine projects that money gets put towards. So they have to legally put together a plan of how they want to spend that money. And so there is a plan in place, which is also available on our website, that goes over and talks about things that they want to do in the Diamond Square community. And there's a number of different things. They did the Stone Street repaving, and they call it streetscaping. That was one of the projects that they used funding for. There's the community center, the brand new community center that was just done. So things like that is what those tax dollars go towards. And so that's a very brief overview of what a redevelopment area is. It's the same thing with Cocoa. The Cocoa CRA is the same thing. It has a plan in place, and there's specific projects that money from that Cocoa CRA has to go to. All CRAs are the same thing.
And also, I think you mentioned earlier, or it might have been him, about the facade grant that helps to
So yeah, the COCO CRA has a facade grant. I don't know if the Diamond Square, I'd have to look and see if
think
Diamond
they do.
Square.
I'm pretty sure
They
each
have
of
a
them do.
different program. I think they have a home beautification program, but the COCO CRA has a facade grant program where you can apply to get funding for whether it's awnings or painting your building or things like that. But one of the programs that I think Diamond Square did was the home improvement projects. So they had grants available for people who repainted the outside of their home or beautified their lawn, or there was all different projects that they had grants for. Any other questions? Yep.
So kind of just looking through, and I just want to make sure I have a grasp on this and that I'm understanding correctly. It looks like the time frame of when you would actually start to see funds and have them in your hand would be about 6 to 8 months or maybe more from the initial start. Is that about right?
Yes.
And so before then, from just my experience, starting a business from the beginning can take overhead costs and things like that. And so I would have to keep in mind that I'm going to have those funds. Plus, obviously, the 10% that you have to have of your own and continue to run this business. And hopefully, it doesn't go underwater and I'm able to keep it for 3 years so I won't have to give back the money that you have already given, right?
Yes, so the We Venture program it's a 24-week program. So it is a commitment that you have to go through. At the end of that program, when you successfully complete that program, then you determine what your reimbursable expenses that you're going to submit for approval are. Then you submit those to get approved at council to get reimbursed. So it could take, I would safely say probably 8 months, just to give it some time.
And I know, like, when you bootstrap a business and you're, doing it on your own, that sounds like a lot, on paper, and like, wow, I'm not there. You are not prevented from seeking, your income and your revenue at that time. Like, you don't have to be pre-venture, as we would call, like, before you've gone. But if you are just early venture, where you're in the very early stages of your business, so always, our first advice is always, the sooner you can get profitable, the sooner you can get customers, clients, whatever it is, and we'll be coaching you through it. It's not like you have to put opening your business on pause. We want you actively still working and getting on it. We're going to work with you. And the council meeting where we make our recommendation and you present how you're going to use the funds was really joyful that time, because I will say this last time, we had a really solid plan. This is exactly how these monies will be used to help my business. And, they were ready to go, say yes. And I'm headed off to place the order. So I know it's hard, but it doesn't prevent you from working on your business, growing the business between now and then.
And this is, my question is more about the We Venture program specifically. With the business that did complete the program, I wanted to know how vocal you guys were about how they vetted the location of their business, because I found it interesting that he would have gone into quite a depressed area as a new business. I would be very hesitant to do that. And for sound business practices, I would wonder, like, with your coaching, would it be great for us to be in the Diamond Square area, or how are y'all going about supporting businesses that's in a depressed area to hold out, see through 3 years?
Yeah, I think Chef's Kitchen is actually a great example of how the right business with the right marketing, with the right appeal, can find success. And would we have wanted to put a $20 a cookie shop there? Probably not. But a very family-friendly soul food restaurant that is open to, really it's a community gathering place, has been embraced. And we've heard from many clients that seek it out then because they've heard and they've done such good marketing. And that was a big part of what they're working with was they have a great social media following. Lacey does an awesome job with that. So they're bringing customers in because then it almost feels like an authentic soul food experience, right? So I think the right business in the right place, and I hear your concerns. I I understand that the Diamond Square district maybe is not what you envision, like, oh, my business could thrive here right now. But the purpose of this program and the purpose of what the city and the CRA is doing is to build it back up so it gets there. So you're really becoming a piece because the more value we bring to the community, then other businesses come and then more tax is generated and then they can reinvest more into the community. Maybe next year it's 4 businesses that could get a sponsor, so it kind of helps build in the right direction. And I work, we cover 3 different counties, and I can tell you the city of Cocoa really they have a heart for the small business, and they're doing a great job with the established businesses and kind of the traditional commercial sectors, and then in some of the development and then some of the new development that's coming. So I'm bullish, and especially with the train and the growth we're seeing, if anything, can I buy property? Right? No, I can't say that.
Yeah, and I think that's really is the key, is that we venture piece. That's why it was so important for us, because we want these businesses to succeed. And yes, it may be a depressed area or an area that doesn't do well right now for businesses, but that's what we're hoping to change. We're hoping to bring in businesses that know how to be successful, and can be in there long term. So that is our goal with this program, is to bring successful businesses to our Diamond Square community and to the entire city of Cocoa.
So that eventually the $20 cookie shops will feel comfortable.
Give us 10 years, 5-10 years. We'll get it.
And if I'm not mistaken, though, I do think that Chef's Kitchen already had their location before they applied for the program.
I think they were closing it out, like, as they applied.
They were in process.
Yeah.
They were moving. Yeah, they were somewhere else, and then they moved.
Yeah.
So they were granted on the basis of expansion, which is one of the.
They moved from a different location into that location and expanded.
But they were still under.
I think they were new business. Yeah, they were still a new business.
The area that you're showing in the green, you have 520, you have Fisk as an edge, and then you got Peachtree Street. Those are really your major commercial areas. The rest of that is residential, and a lot of the south side of that is Section 8 housing. I mean, it's a massive amount of that. Are y'all trying to help people? And I'm a cocoa business. I've been in business for quite a while, but going down 520, there's a lot of growth there. There's a lot of potential of growth, and are y'all trying to help the people coming in here doing this? And I'm not trying to speak out of line, but are you trying to help them find those places on 520 and on Fisk where you've got the traffic and you've got people? We've got a lot of buildings that are not being used. US 1's a massive area. I mean, we've got all these nice looking buildings up US 1, nobody in them. And I don't understand that, but I mean, I've just been in business a long time, but I think we should try to help, or something y'all should do more than I'm not trying to, but I think it's a great idea. They should be trying to help them find those locations and make it turn into it.
And that is definitely something that is part, I would think, of that mentorship program is, what is going to work and what's going to be successful for that specific business. Is it going to be on 520 or is it going to be on Stone Street? What is it that's going to be successful for that specific business?
And again, it's the way the funding can be allocated, it is restricted by law. Like funding generated from a redevelopment agency must be spent within the redevelopment agency. And so that's why I think it's really nice that there are an equal balance, that 3 are from the city and can be anywhere in the city, including, that US 1 corridor that's in blue, and then 3 that are funded by the CRA must be within that Diamond Square CRA.
Okay, I kind of want to piggyback on what he said, but in terms of business with the residential areas, is there incentive plans for growth for people to move back into the areas where we are trying to develop businesses?
Like, do y'all have a vision for the
For that plan, that, to get people back into the areas, into housing in the areas so that they're closer to places of businesses?
So if I'm understanding correctly, yes, I think so. And that we have an entire plan that is online. You can read through our Diamond Square board. They hold monthly meetings. They get what the community would like to see. So they have an entire plan in place. Affordable housing is a huge push right now. The Michael C. Blake subdivision, they're really trying to find some developers to get in there and build some affordable housing in the area. So yes, there is a plan in place, and housing is a huge piece of that because there is so much housing in that Diamond Square community. But there is that business development as well. Stone Street used to be the hub of businesses. And so, that was why the streetscaping project along Stone Street was such an important project for them, because they wanted to make sure that Stone Street comes back. And so hopefully we can get some businesses in there again and bring it back to what it was.
I wanted to find out if for the program that the application is open for tomorrow. I think it's called UpStart, right? I got in a little bit late. You already have to have a business, right, for that.
No,
that
you
program.
don't have to have a business. You just need
An idea.
An idea.
And a business plan.
Start a business, yes.
Okay. And that will qualify you for the Ignite 360?
So if you get selected, actually, let me just make sure I put. So if you get selected for the program as one of the 5 that get selected, you will be then part of the We Venture Ignite 360 program. That's the mentorship and education component to the program. But like Catherine said, you don't have to, if you aren't selected, if you are not one of the 5 that get selected, you can still go through that program on your own. You don't have to do that with the city of Cocoa.
And I'd like to mention this because the representative of We Venture that was here this morning, We Venture does offer other free programs as well. Not just the Ignite 360 program. So if anybody is looking for any other additional assistance, there's a lot that they offer.
Yeah, and then just to clarify, so most of our programming is low or no cost. Like some programs have we do a business start, our Pathways business start. It's $40 for 4 sessions, right? So it's pretty low cost. A lot of our biz ed is free. Our business coaching is always free. The Ignite program is fee for service. It's still available to anyone, and we have clients that go through it, but because you get such significant time and support and stuff, there is a fee associated. But if you know people who've been through, business consultants and things can cost tens of thousands. We're still very affordable. Again, it starts at about $1,500 for 3 months, and then $2,500 or $3,500 for 6 months or more, depending on which Ignite path we put you on. But free business ed, free business coaching, and it's not just through us. I'll even mention even up here a little bit closer, because we're on Florida Tech's campus. We do a lot of our coaching via Zoom these days because it's just so convenient. But if you are into in person, we always are happy to meet in person. And then the SBDC is another SBA program that's located right at the Eastern Florida campus off Clear Lake. And they offer very similar programs in terms of business coaching and mentorship. So we're all here to support the business community.
We have one question in the back.
Yeah, so I have just one question on the map as well. The gray area, I'm just wondering why sharps might not be included if like the address I'm looking at is a Cocoa address.
That's a great question, and we had it earlier as well. So unfortunately, the city of Cocoa would love to incorporate and take on Sharps, but they're not technically City of Cocoa. It's not incorporated in the City of Cocoa. It's technically unincorporated Brevard. Same thing with Port St. John and areas of West Cocoa. So he zoomed out, but the grayed areas are what is considered city limits of the City of Cocoa. And because the funding is coming from the City of Cocoa, it has to go to a business that is City of Cocoa. I think she goes first.
Is the Ignite 360 program fee waived if you're selected, or do you still have to pay that amount?
That is part of the $10,000 total.
Yeah.
So you don't pay anything. We pay for the program. And then the balance, which is $7,500, is what is really your forgivable loan. And I think you had a question.
I wanted to know that I'm sorry,
That's
I
okay.
lost it.
We'll be here. You can ask a question when it comes back to you. And I think you had a question?
Yes, just two and final, and then I'll be done here. One thing that would personally help me as a small business owner and hopefully to expand to a location that hopefully will be accessible in Cocoa Village area, which is where I live, is most easier for me. And thinking about this program, and if I am accepted and go through the program and I have to be in business 3 years, and this may be a city council meeting question, but one thing that got me excited is that I heard rumors about this huge, amazing opportunity of this train that's coming from Orlando to Miami. Is that going to be a stop that's going to be somewhere in this area that will obviously bring more business? And I heard about maybe there was going to be a hotel coming in Cocoa Village. Things like that is what I think of that will help my business continue and to grow over 3 years, which is what I would have to be dedicated to in order to be a part of this program.
So the quick answer is yes, we would love all of that to happen. There is not currently a plan to have a stop anywhere in Brevard County right now, but we are actively pursuing a stop in Cocoa. That is the top priority for the city economic development rise right now, is to get a stop in the city of Cocoa. And so that is our plan, but it is not something that has been approved. It is technically the plan of the entire county is for that station to be located in Cocoa. So that is the number one stop location right now, is the where the bend is, where it turns to in north, right by Walmart. It turns to go west to Orlando. That's where the proposed stop is for planned, but they have not definitively said anything. They want to get the actual train running first. That's the only thing they've committed to, is that they would like to get the train running first. Once they have the train running and they can assess it at that point, then they will make a determination about future stops. But that is our goal, is to have that same hotel location. There was a hotel planned for the old City Hall site, which is Factory in Brevard. It is no longer happening right now, but that location is still going to be a hotel site. It's just not with the developer that was selected before. So now it's going to go back out to RFP for a new developer to come in, and hopefully this one will actually get done. So that is our plan.
And then one final question. If anybody is selected for this program and able to go through, and we're working with We Venture, and they're saying, they're expressing how much of a great business idea this is. And what if there's an opportunity where they're like, this is so good and we really want to support you, but you need more than 75K. Is there an opportunity, or is there open? I understand that budgets are budgets, what you set aside and what you have, but is there opportunity where you would offer, say, you know what, we really want to see you succeed, and $7,500 is not gonna really do much for you. Let's see what we can do, whether we help you find more funds or give them through the UpStart. Is there any opportunity for things like that?
So I think I can, getting access to funding is the number one challenge that a lot of new businesses face.
Thank you all
And
for coming.
yeah, I wish I could tell you that there are more grant funds available, but because this is a government program that we budget, it gets planned out, by the council, by the CRA, what they have for that year is what they will have for that year. And our goal is to have, 5 viable businesses and award them the full amount. From WeVenture's perspective, we work with all our clients to try to help you get access to the funding you need. But I would be doing you a disservice if I made you think that there are people waiting around to give out money. Grants like this, what the city is doing, are very rare and they're wonderful. And so they're very competitive. You might see the billionaire that starts her grant fund and she's trying to help, and then there's tens of thousands of people that apply. They're very competitive. The best way to get the access to capital that your business needs is to work with someone like us to make sure you're growing and showing year over year growth. And at year 2, let's get you in a position, maybe year 3, where you can go to a bank and say, I'm ready for a business loan. So a business plan should always be developed with your growth in mind, but understanding profitability, whether it's small, whether it's your initial, whether it's your phase 1, whatever you want to call it. Being profitable and showing that you have a viable business plan is step 1. And once you do that, then we can talk about scaling and growing up a business.
Yes, so unfortunately, that's what we have budgeted. So at this point, it would only be up to the $10,000 total, 7,500. Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the mobile services. Like, if you're planning on doing something mobile, or if you have something mobile, how is that going to fit in that Diamond area? Or
So it just depends. I think it's based where your business address is. So what you register under your business tax receipt. So that's where we're basing it off of. But mobile vendors have a specific requirements, and it's in our policies when you read it online. As far as you have to have established hours, and that you're going to actually be in the city of Cocoa. So all that is spelled out in the policies. Any other questions? So I first off want to thank everybody for being here, because that just shows you that you're actually committed to wanting to learn more about the program. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the wonderful questions. Both my card and Connor's card are up here if you would like to grab it. We are available at all times. My cell phone number is on here. You can reach me at any time. You can email us with questions, but be on the lookout. The program will open up tomorrow. The application will open up tomorrow. We are available if you have any questions throughout the process. Just let us know. The more people we have applied, the better. We're really looking forward to having as many businesses as possible. Like I said, the more we have, the more we can award, and the more hopefully that will grow our community. So thank you again for being here. And if you have any other questions, we're going to be here
Till you need us.
Thank you very much.